Great job, Shondell. I was taking so many notes here. This is very technical, not a strength of mine, but if you guys are like me or Shay and your A's, and you're just like, oh my God, this seems like a lot, but the T's are like, yo, this is awesome, right? All the technical people are they're like, oh my God, this is what I've been dreaming for, praying for. This is so structured. Listen, I'm like, wow, this is a lot, but this is awesome. Like my S is kicking in, my A is kicking in, but if you're looking at this and you didn't catch everything, and I didn't even catch everything. I mean, I listened to everything, but I didn't catch everything. I'm not going to memorize it from hearing it once. The way that you are able to make training turn into results for you is to actually go back and review the training and watch it, right? Because Shay has said three-headed monster for so many times, for as long as I can remember. The first time I heard it, I remember I didn't really hear it until I heard it like the fifth time, really, right? Because I was like, oh, three-headed monster, that sounds really cool. Oh, QAs, okay, appointments, that sounds pretty cool. And then it's like, oh, that's a three-headed monster. That's how you guys are as well. Okay, don't lie. But what I'm gonna go over is attendance, because like Shondell kind of dropped earlier, none of this matters if you don't have recruits and you don't have clients. But none of that comes out of thin air. You have to focus on your appointments, like Shay said. You have to focus on your attendance, like I'm gonna go over. So I'm gonna go over the mentality of attendance first, because I feel like if your attitude is not right about it, if your belief is not right about it, if you don't know why you need to do it, you're not going to do it, right? Like if you don't know why you need to go to the grocery store, you're probably not going to randomly end up at the grocery store, right? Like I know I need some coffee. I'm going to go to Starbucks or Dunkin'. I'm just not going to end up at Dunkin' Donuts. Like you're not going to build an attendance accidentally without knowing why you need to do it, right? So let me share my screen really quick. And I have 15 minutes, so I'm gonna fairly go quick, and let me know if you guys can see this. Okay, great. All right, so number one, what is attendance? Like, let me call on somebody really quick, because I love doing this, but it's just the purpose of guys getting better, okay? So calling somebody new. Audrey, you're fairly, you got, your mom taking her exam next week. That's exciting. Audrey, why, and this is, if you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to know what's in your mind. Why do you think we recognize attendance?
It shows effort. It shows who's doing stuff, who's out in the streets putting in the work. It shows who's grinding. It shows, I think of it as like who's out being productive, who's being successful at what they're chosen in
Okay.
practice.
All right. Good. Okay. Who's focused? Wells, why do you think we recognize attendance?
Shows the growth of your business.
Yeah. So both of these guys are correct. Okay. There's no right or wrong answer, but you want to make sure you really simplify it. And everything I'm going to go over is everything I got through reviewing my notes, guys. I had to learn also, just like you guys did. I submitted my IBA and was a new person day one. So attendance is a leadership award. Okay. And all the words that Wells and Audrey said, just to simplify it, it's a leadership award. The bigger leader you are, as far as your influence, the bigger your team will be. So how do you know you're a leader? If you look and you see people are signing on your team on Zoom, right? In Zoom world, how many people do you have signing on with their videos on? Because I'm going to talk about that in a second. The size of your leadership is the size of your attendance. But I really believe that whatever your attendance is also equals the level of your belief in your business, right? And the level of belief in your people too. If you're not asking your people to show up, do you even believe that they can be big? I'm just saying, like, like you think that this person's gonna be you think that you really know in your mind this person's gonna be nothing or small. No. I will still ask, I will still tell people, hey, listen, we're gonna have the best training ever. Hey, listen, tomorrow I'm excited about what they're gonna go over, and tomorrow you're really gonna thank me later for telling you to come show up, right? I say things like that. I'm not gonna say any details what's going on in training, but I'll say that, right? Just so that they have some type of, oh, maybe I should show up. What is she talking about, right? But I believe that somebody like an Ernest who hasn't showed up, he's a silent partner. even though he wants to be a silent partner, I believe that he can be something big, but I'm going to keep asking, right? I'm not going to stop asking, because what does that prove to me? Prove to you guys, I don't believe in my guy, you know? If they don't show up, they won't make it, guys. Ring the alarm. Not the Beyonce video, but ring the alarm. Okay. If they don't show up, they will not make it. You should really feel in your mind like, I just recruited this guy. I told, or girl, and we went over fast start meeting. They know about training. We talked about training. They committed to training, and they didn't show up. Red flag, red flag. Because if you can't even sign on to a Zoom, can you even sign on to see your client and learn the rest of the skill sets you need to make? Showing up is the lowest level commitment. And attendance, the bigger your attendance, the bigger your belief here is. This meeting is mine. This hierarchy is mine. I am building mine. So when somebody came on, I think it was either Shaq or Samir, and I talked about this last week or two, they got up in front of the room and they said, whoever has the most people showing up, the most teammates showing up, the meeting belongs to them. And I remember Shaq having to push me to have my own op meeting, and I was just scared. I was like, I don't want to do my own op meeting. I don't know about that. Right. He said, you need an office. No, I don't want to know. No. Well, we had a much smaller hierarchy size showing up of attendance in person. I probably, our team probably had like maybe 15. We peaked at like 20 people showing up. And at that time, because the hierarchy was smaller, that just seemed to be much. I mean, I would kill myself if I had 15 people right now mentally. And so I had a conversation with Shaq, and he goes, Jen, this is your meeting. You need to have your own office. You don't have to bring all these guys to Virginia. And I was like, when he said that, I was like, oh, wow, I don't have to come to Virginia. That was really the reason why Shay and Shonda, I was like, yes, thank you, Jesus. Let me get my own office in DC. But I mean, when he said, do your own meeting, I was just like, nah, right? But it was true. When I thought about it, I was like, wow, I do have more than, whatever amount of percentage of this hierarchy coming in person, right? People from 5 minutes away from the office didn't come. They came like 30 minutes late, whereas our team came an hour away, and we came with pride, wanting to clean up the office, wanting to set up the office, and we wanted to show up. We had some type of bragging right internally within our team. Like, yeah, we show up and we clean up the office and we set up the office. We're the ones that did that. We had that pride right there. Then there was other teammates that just kind of showed up and just came to training and then left, and did their own thing. 20% to 80% of the work, right? But the reason why you want to put your guys, and build your attendance also is because your environment is caught, not taught. I am not into myself enough to be like, I'm the only one that Suge needs to hear from. No, Suge needs to hear from Shaq, right? Autry needs to hear from Samir. Wells needs to hear from Shondell. Like the environment is caught, not taught. I am not made up of everyone here, but I can leverage the environment to not just help me, but help the other teammates get the same message I'm trying to portray too. And sometimes your teammates are not going to hear it right from you. It's just maybe the tone of your voice. Maybe it's just the way you look. Maybe your hair is too straight. I don't know, but maybe they don't want to hear from you. Maybe they just want to hear from Samir. I don't know. I don't really care either. As long as you hear it, right? Now, your team deserves better than just you. So put them in front of the best trainer or coach available, right? Why would you limit your teammate to just you? Why would you just talk to them throughout the week and then let them call out of training easily by not even asking them questions about why they're not showing up to training, right? Like I talked to somebody the other day, and this person has an SIE scheduled during training. No, reschedule that. Sorry, we don't skip training, because what happens when your teammate doesn't see you in training? It doesn't matter why you're not in training. It doesn't matter. They just see that Shay did not sign on. So now, and Shay doesn't do this, but if Shay does not sign on, how can Shay ever be like, yo, you have to show up to every meeting? Come on now, more butts in chairs equals more assets under management. I really wanted to put the other word in, but I wanted to be appropriate for the recording because, we were taught to say the other word. However, more butts in chairs. If you have more butts sitting in the chair, right, whether it's on Zoom or in person, then eventually these people are going to get licensed just like you did, and they're going to want to use their license just like you wanted to. And you may not have been consistent at first, or maybe you're still not consistent. Maybe your person's still not consistent. But at one point, we were inconsistent before we were consistent. The more butts you have in shares consistently, the more assets you're going to have growing under management. And Bruce said something, in the double digit recruiting conference call that we're a part of every 2 weeks. 20% will do 80% of the work. 80% will do 20% of the work. And once you figure out who your 20%ers are, and you invest your time with them, watch your business compound and grow. Because some of us, we're so worried about spending time with every single person because we submitted their IBA. We feel bad that they don't have results, right? And we're just trying to motivate them. Listen, like Shaq said, if your family doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will. If your negative bank account won't motivate you, I don't know what will. If your $20, $200, $2,000 in your bank account don't motivate you, and you got $2,000 a month of bills, if your $20,000, $200,000 of student loans don't motivate you, I don't know what will. I'm not going to motivate you. I'm just here to give you the skill sets, and you take it with your will set, right? What's 20% of your attendance? So if you have 10 people showing up, which is your first goal that you should have, two people are going to be 20% of your attendance. Take a wild guess who those two people are. It's you and one other person, which means if you have less than 10 people showing up and you feel frustrated, well, what's 20% of 9 or less? 1 point something. You can't have 1 point something of a person. So guess what that one person is? You. So you are the only one that has to do everything because you have less than 10 people showing up. That's it. So you get good at invites first, building to 10 people in attendance, then you teach it, right? Then you teach it. So let's talk about real invites versus fake invites, because I don't think a lot of people know. A lot of people, all of us have, I believe, a good heart, and we really want to believe people and take their word for face value. I was like that too. And that's why I almost gave up on myself 28 days into the business. Thank God I had a trainer that wasn't going to bend on me, right? Thank God he called me out on my BS, and he wasn't scared to do so. But a real invite is when the prospect agrees with you and says, yes, I'll be there. And they receive the email and details of the event from you. Okay, a fake invite, what is this? You tell them, hey, there's this meeting tomorrow. Oh, we have training tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you then, okay? And they're like, oh, yeah, okay. That's a fake invite. No, you can't be posting you got a potential guest for tomorrow. You only mean how to potential guest. Don't even potential until they show up. No, that's a fake invite, okay? So you want to get a solid commitment from the person and confirm that they got the emails and the details. That is a real invite, guys. That's a real invite. Step 2, after getting good at invites, you want to get good at reporting your attendance to your direct upline, then teach it, okay? So this is so small, but it's so big at the same time. Each direct leader to you guys, each direct leader should know that they have their accountability, their responsibility to report their base shop attendance, including themselves, to you before Shaq even calls on top turnout. That should be it. What I've noticed, and this is just what I've noticed, is just a matter of the fact, and Chandel and Shay, I'm sure they can back me up here because they have an attendance too. The people that have to be told to report their attendance, they never do as much as the people that report their attendance immediately, right? And if it's not them that does most of the personal work, it's somebody under them that's reporting their attendance to cause that direct leader to report their attendance too, right? It's always somebody either under them or them themselves, right? But either way, if they don't learn, if they can't do the simplicity of reporting their base attendance, including themselves, before Shaq even calls top turnout, because they've been doing it every week, I don't know, man. The small things add up to the big things. So when you build your attendance, right, this is why you want to get good. This is not on the screen, but let me talk to the stars right here. STAR, right? The structure people. The more consistent your attendance is, the more consistent your income is going to be. Then you'll be able to pay your bills without your job being something you have to depend on, right? Your job income. You won't ever have to answer to a boss ever again, right? The T's. If you don't want to talk to people, then you need to build an attendance, because then your attendance can talk to the people for you, right? You'll have somebody like be a Jen, right? A Jen Lee, like Shaq had, to go out to the mall and get 10 names and numbers because Shaq doesn't want to do it. That's okay, right? The A's, you get to financial independence faster. Look at Shaq's attendance. Shaq can just, drop the base today and just go chill out at his pool, his, temperature controlled pool with his 3 kids and Ira, and we'll still be running the training for him. Think about it, right? Or for us, we'll still be running the training for the hierarchy because we've taken responsibility. But if you don't build a Shay or Shondell or Jen, then how can you be a Shaq? You know what I mean? So you want to get good at doing that so you can get to financial independence faster, quicker. You're not going to do it yourself. And it's not just Primerica, guys. You think Steve Jobs built Apple by himself? He had the idea, but he wasn't the person that liked to talk to people. He hired the HR people to hire and train the people. He hired the IT people to deal with the computers and all that. He just had the idea, right? He just delegated. But in the beginning, I'm sure he had to be involved a lot. Some people think delegation means, oh, I don't have to do anything. Let me just tell all my teammates to do anything before I do anything. That's not it. That's not what I'm saying. Don't say Jen said, don't do anything and tell other people to, no, that's not what I said. I said, you learn it first, then you teach it, right? You learn it first, then you teach it. And if you're a strong relational person, then that you get to build a family. And I can really say this now, years into the business, my life has changed. My circle has changed. My closest people that I talk to are my teammates. The Shays and the Shondells, definitely Shaq, definitely Bruce, right? These guys have became like my family. And I know I can trust them. Where else can you leave? And, this is completely out of the ordinary, but where else can you go work and you can leave your wallet just sitting out there on the table and nobody touch it? Think about it, right? There's so much trust within our hierarchy. This is a safe haven for us to run to. So let's talk about how each direct leader reports their base attendance. Because Shay or Shondell said something yesterday. People think that we're just counting all 25 people on our own, 50 people on our own. Like that's not it. I'm not counting all 40, 50 people on my own. I would go crazy if I had to do that. Now, in the beginning, did I have to count everybody on? Yes, I did. Right? I had to write down word for word, like name per name, every single person and cross them out and highlight them as they showed up. It wasn't convenient, guys. But number one, show up, and then how many you have showing up with you. So I first worry about the people that I have outside of my top directs that I know will report and can independently report. Right. So then Shug reports, Tache reports, E reports, Val reports, Cheryl reports, Hoel reports. This is how my, pretty much my post-it looks like, just not as clean, right? But I'm like scrambling around, scribbling before. And today I have, where I put the piece of paper. I was upset that we had 43, so I threw it on the side.
You had 40.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I had 12 people outside of these guys, just that I was, building under and making sure that they were on and all that stuff. And when I say making sure they're on, I mean, you guys know that when you have people problems, right? If you don't have any people problems, sorry, you don't have any people, or you don't have enough people, and you're probably not making consistent income either, unless you're consistent yourself. But typically, people have up and down months by themselves. So, this is not that many people, guys. I mean, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outside of me, and then a couple people that are unlicensed directs that still need some building, right? But for the most part, these are the licensed directs that I work with. That's it. It's not that many people, It's just how quick do you want to? Sorry, guys. You clicked the wrong gently, Shondell.
Sorry, guys.
There's 2 of me on here. Because I wanted
the wrong gently.
All right.
I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me talk about the environment, because I think a lot of us who came on Zoom, we don't understand that there was a certain competitive energy about attendance, because you see the same people post their attendance, and we want this hierarchy to grow. And this hierarchy is not going to grow unless each one of you guys grow. Let me repeat that. This hierarchy is not going to grow unless each one of you guys grow. So everything that I'm about to say, it's for the purpose of you growing, not to come down on you or not to do anything. Okay. So if you think I'm talking about you, I'm probably talking about you. Okay. So, but this is how the environment used to look like. Look at this. Look at this picture right here. I don't know what year this is from, but this was at least 2018 and later, right? I looked at my phone, and I love to take pictures of the environment because I like to see one who's still here, right? And look at everyone. Do you see any videos off? No, because you can't have videos off when you're in person, right? And the vibe is different. Do you see anybody really looking down? No, everyone's looking to the front of the room, to the speaker, right? And Shaq was speaking at that time. You see Suge and Kelvin looking at Shaq. Shay's pointing at me. Donald's pointing at me. I think this was not an attendance where I think it was Top Gun. But this, I mean, look at the environment, right? You see, like, look at this. Nobody is not paying attention. Nobody is not paying attention. Everyone is glued in. You see Tom in the back? I see Tom in the back. And then, you know, I mean, just look at this. You know, Suge's dad is there. And like Antonia, if I could call on you, if you look at this picture, what do you see? Like just in general, like anything, what do you see? What does it say to you?
Excitement.
Yeah, excitement. Perfect. Very simple. Because we are excited. All the people that came from before Zoom are just continuously excited because we just know how to be, right? And when you're excited, you bring this positive energy, this passion, and people can feel it, right? It's a little bit hard to feel it over Zoom, but if people can't feel that you are excited about where you are, why would they follow you? Come on now, you know? How are you going to build an attendance and influence somebody to show up for themselves on Saturday morning when you're not excited talking about Saturday morning? I'm always excited talking about training. Hey, you got to be in training. Hey, listen, tomorrow we got training. Hey, tomorrow we got training. How many you got? How many you got? How many you got? Right? I don't even ask people, are you showing up? I ask you how many you got because I'm already assuming you're going to keep your word because you already committed to training, right? Because you're a leader. This is how Saturday morning used to be. We got to bring this back as far as Zoom is concerned, where when Shaq asked, how many people you guys show up? I go, well, you better feel uncomfortable if you have less than 5 people showing up and you are not even being called on, right? I know that when Bruce is on double-digit recruiting and he doesn't even recognize our team, I'm like, whoa, my name didn't even get called. I feel some type of way, right? One thing is being at the bottom of the list, guys. Another thing is not even being on the scoreboard. If you're not even on the scoreboard and your teammate doesn't even see you on the scoreboard for at least recruiting, because maybe you're not licensed, or maybe you are licensed and you're new and you're not as productive yet. But if you're not even on the recruiting board to build your attendance, then how is your teammate going to follow you? Can they follow zero? Can they follow zero? No, right? So then we had quarterly. So this is a base shop, a hierarchy event. This is just weekly, right? But then this was quarterly. So this is our team, not the hierarchy. This is just our team. And this is when we started breaking 50 in attendance every single quarter. It was so exciting because we had so much anxiety, like as a whole unit, anxiety. When I say unit, I mean like every single person with the exception of some new people, anxiety. And even if you were 2 weeks into the business, I mean, if you talk to me and Bao and, you know, Ian and these guys, they honed in on their attendance. I mean, we were just like, we're coming deep and let's rent a bus. Oh, hold on, there we don't got enough cars because we didn't drive for God knows how long. Some of our teammates still don't drive, you know. But I was just like, we don't drive, we need to rent a bus. And I put down $400 for a bus. Right? I recruited a bus driver on purpose because I wanted to get a discount because I was like, ain't no way I'm paying full price for a bus. So I recruited a bus driver. I found a way to get a discount, right? And he found me a discount. And guess what? We were paying $400 for a bus. And everybody pitched in to pay the $400. Even the guests pitched in. And we figured out how to get 50 people in attendance. And, you know, and every single time I always heard the same message. And I'm going to say it to you guys again. The person with the most people showing up, they own the meeting, right? I wanted our team to be the biggest team walking in. I mean, just with so much pride. And this was every single 90 days. And when quarantine started, I wrote down January 1st, 2020, that we were going to have 50 people a week showing up. And then by April 1st, or the first week of April, we had 50 people a week showing up. And I wrote it down. I said, I'm tired of having 50 people every 3 quarters, you know? Because if we're doing whatever production we are having 50 people showing up quarterly, what do we do it weekly? Let's compound the results. So this is showing up, right? You guys see this is in person. This is not now. So let's talk about now. There's showing up, and then there's real showing up. And then they're showing up, and then there's like, I'm kind of here, I'm logged in, but my video's off. Okay, this is showing up. This is real attendance. This is you being real attendance. So if I could be like, I'm looking at the list here, right? Mama V has her video on, Marin has her video on, Thomas, Ian, Miche, sorry if I mispronounced the name, Gabrielle, Emmanuel, Donald, Z, Bao, Jenny, Miss Caroline, Tanya, Audrey, Jimmy Lee, Wells, and so on, right? I'm going through this list. But then I see people with their videos off. Listen, we know you are 100% taking notes. Your teammate knows you're 100% taking notes and paying attention when your video's on. Your teammate doesn't know that you're present if your video's off. I'm sorry, because this is what you look like behind closed doors. Okay. Thank you, Thomas, for the picture. This is what your teammates think you're doing when your video is off. They don't think you're glued on the screen, right? Showing up, your fake attendance, showing up is killing your business, guys. Your video off, it seems like you're eating. It seems like you're texting. It seems like you're frying freaking bacon. It seems like you're multitasking. It seems like you're not paying attention. It seems like you're worried about what's for lunch. That's what it seems like. And it seems like people are logging off here because they can't take the heat, right? Because they're not going to build a business. Let me put it out there really quick, right? Your video on looks like this. This is what it looks like when you're excited. That's video on. That's a team. That's a hierarchy right here. Your video off looks like this, right? Zoom. You don't see his reflection on the screen. You see Zoom. Video off, right? The Queen, video on. That's Beyonce, by the way. Taking notes, you know? So, all right, I'm done. But if there was $1 million check with your name on it, guys, would your teammate show up? Would you show up? How attentive would you be? To this day, I'm writing things down that I've written down back in 2014. I'm writing things down that I've written down so many times because I just never want to forget it. Because if you don't use it, you lose it, you know? One thing that Shane Perry said in the audio one day was that you got to have new blood in your attendance. If 60% of your meeting attendance is over 6 months, you're in trouble. There has to be a lot of, oh, I haven't met Joy, right? Like I'll talk to Bao, and Bao, you know, she had the most attendance on our team. And I'll be like, yo, who's this person? Tell me about this person. And I'll be like, yo, tell me who is on track with their studying. Let me call that person. Tell me, oh, have they been showing up? Okay, now how's their studying going? What chapter are they on? What chapter should they be on? Okay, great. Oh, how many appointments have they been on? Okay, let me call them really quick. Right now I get to call Joy and meet her, right? But then there's like maybe 10 other people that Bao has I haven't even met. That's cool to me because, you know, I wanted to build an attendance, a business where I didn't have to talk to every single type of person, you know, because that's a lot of text messages, several text messages, separate messages, separate, you know, a lot of repeating to the same thing to different people, not in the best way, not in the most efficient way. You should be personally talking to people, new people all the time. But your teammates, they got to learn how to talk to their teammates too. Move the new people. When you learn how to move the new people, then that's increased production. And that's where we blitz. None of building attendance is convenient, guys. You're going to have to be like, yo, where you at? You're going to have to text people, yo, are you okay? You're going to have to be like, yo, we started training. You're going to have to do that every single Saturday. Sorry, but you do it enough. All your attendance will come from focusing on recruiting. All your profitable attendance, your money, your overrides will come from focusing on teaching appointments. So we got 3 minutes. Anybody have questions? Hopefully that made sense. Shay, Shondell, back to Shay to close it down.